Yeah, it's great. Okay, yeah, welcome to season 4, episode 6. As always, and potentially for the last time, I'm your host, Will Roach, Opinions editor, and
I'm the other guy, Jeff Swift.
you're the co-host, Jeff. You're more
Hmm.
important than the other guy.
I've never been the co-host. I've always been the other guy. Anyway,
Jeff, you've announced yourself as the co-host for 2 years, and now you want to change it?
all right. Um,
Wow.
so what are we covering today?
Okay, yeah. So I figure we'll start with the two trailers that we're going to cover and then move into our movie. So our two trailers are Christopher Nolan's Tenet and then Ghostbusters Afterlife. So what did you think of the Tenet trailer, Jeff?
The Tenet trailer, that was the one that I think got me the most. That it seems all over the place. You know, Robert Pattinson was in it, but you could barely recognize him in the trailer.
Mhm.
He's supposed to be Batman soon, and
Oh.
you know,
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
but anyway, it's just all up and down. So it looks like it's got some really good action. But Christopher Nolan's a good director.
Yeah.
Uh, this is one of the ones you have to play it by ear. They've had some technical difficulties already with the
Mm,
seating and coronavirus and all that, but
makes sense. Yeah.
it is what it is.
The most interesting thing to me about it is the concept of kind of like maybe the bad guys being able to reverse time
Hmm.
just for
Yeah,
themselves.
that was weird.
I think it'll be an interesting concept to play with, and even if it is like poorly written, it'll be interesting to see how some characters are being kind of like reversed through time while others are just experiencing time normally.
Hmm. It does
Also,
a good
as
job of raising questions.
yeah,
The
also as the
trailer. You're really curious about it.
yeah, it also has John David Washington, and I'm
Mhm.
excited to see him in another movie.
What was he from? Because I know
I
his
know
name.
I know him from Black Klansman.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay.
Hmm.
Because they were putting his name out there, and I'm like, I know I've seen that guy before, but I could
Yeah.
not remember what he was in. Obviously, I remembered or I recognized Robert Pattinson.
Yeah.
Um, and then Michael Caine was in it too. So they got a decent cast coming through.
Yeah. Definitely do.
But it is Christopher Nolan, so yeah, he can do whatever.
Yeah. All right. And now we have the new Ghostbusters movie. So,
Paul Rudd.
yeah, it does have Paul Rudd in it. Um, what I'm mostly curious, the premise for this one seems to be it's one of the original Ghostbusters grandchildren.
Hmm,
Um, like I don't I haven't seen the original Ghostbusters movie, so I don't
really?
yeah, I haven't. So I don't know which one exactly it is, but the original one had a daughter and then she had another child, and because the mother and child pretty much lost everything in the city, they have to move out to this farmhouse that their grandfather owned, and it's their only bit of property left. And while he's there, or I guess while the kid's there, these ghosts start popping up for what Paul Rudd says is the first time in 30 years. And I guess the kid kind of has to take the mantle of being a Ghostbuster again with some of his friends. So they've just chopped out the Ghostbusters movie that I think came out in what, 2016?
They dropped that one completely.
Yeah, it's gone. It's another reboot.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, so kind of interesting decision. What do you think, Jeff?
Eh, I don't know. I'm scared of another Ghostbusters film.
Mm,
Um, one of the things, like, there was a reason Ghostbusters was kind of left untouched, aside from like some weird cartoons and things like that for 30 years. It's kind of odd that it's coming back, but it might be good. The 2016 one was uh not bad, just weird.
mostly, again, I didn't see it. But it seemed like it was kind of relying on, hey, look, the Ghostbusters, but now they're women.
There was
And
a lot of that.
yeah, female
Uh,
empowerment's good, but not when you shove it into a movie and say, hey, please watch it because they're women.
yeah, you need to justify it beyond that point.
Right.
Um, But I think as long as this film's got a reason to exist, then I think it can go by fine.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nobody thought Star Wars would come back, and look at us now with
Thanks,
three,
Disney. Um,
like a million more to come.
yeah.
All
Are
right,
you? Yeah. Okay, I guess we can talk about Bloodshot. Um, so Jeff, you didn't get to see it, right?
I did not get to see it.
You might want to be happy for that.
Oh boy, I
Yeah.
figured with
Yeah.
a name like Bloodshot, ish,
And with
I
Vin
feel like it's gonna
Diesel.
break down into a random action film.
Yeah. Um, so I guess, all right, let's start with the premise. There's a guy named Ray, and he's a soldier.
Raid Shadow Legends.
No, we're not being advertised by them, Jeff. We don't have to. We don't have to talk about them. So he's on like a mission. He rescues a hostage. Uh, goes home to his beautiful wife. They go on vacation in Italy, and then they get kidnapped. And it's by some guy who might have had an investment in the people who were taking hostages. And the guy kills Ray's wife and then kills Ray.
Oh boy.
And then the film ends.
Oh, that's the Debbie Downer.
No, I'm just kidding. That's
Okay.
like the introduction for the movie. After that, Ray wakes up in this like miracle facility that it's not called a miracle facility, but it's just like they basically make miracles happen because um say a soldier loses a part of their body, they can just be like, ah, boom, now you have technology that replaces that part of your body, but now makes it even better. And they apparently just resurrected Ray with nanites. Because
Oh,
yeah, if you don't know how to make something work, you just throw in nano machines.
it's like quantum physics. Like, just
Yeah,
explain it with quantum science. You don't understand what's
yep,
going on. Just it's quantum. Boom.
yep. Not
Magic.
something you would understand. Um, yeah, and at one point, so Ray doesn't remember anything either. So he's just a blank slate. But I forgot to mention the guy who was interrogating them, holding him and his wife captive. He has this really weird scene where he plays, I think, a song called "Psycho Killer," and they make this really big point that he dances to it, and it leaves this impression on what is the name? Ray. Yep. um, and then at one point, randomly, Ray's just hanging out with one of the other soldiers at the facility, and Psycho Killer, the song comes on, and then Ray gets his memories back, and he goes on his journey to kill the guy that killed his wife and him.
That is so convoluted.
It gets worse.
Oh
But
boy.
this is where I'm dropping the spoiler mark. So
Okay, good.
get out of here. Um, surprise, surprise, the guy who revived Ray's the main antagonist.
Whoa, that's a
Yeah.
flip.
Yeah, no,
That's a
it's really obvious.
flip.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, basically that guy's name is what is it? I pulled up the IMDb list this time, so I'm prepared. It's like Harding. Yeah, Emil Harding. There we go.
Warren G. Harding.
Hmm?
Warren G. Harding.
Uh, close enough. Who cares?
He was the president in the 20s. Anyway,
Oh,
keep going. It was a stupid
yeah.
joke.
Um, so Harding revived Ray with this like actual godsend of technology, like resurrected him from the dead, and has been using him to assassinate Harding's like business associates that could sell the resurrection technology. And it's not that Harding wants to use the technology just to like make a bunch of money. He wants to use it to make incredible soldiers. And
Of course.
this is the part of his motivation that doesn't make any sense because he only wants to use the technology for this really tiny thing where you make really incredible soldiers when resurrecting people has so many different applications, like, I don't know, bringing people back to life.
You get another soldier,
Yeah,
just that same soldier again.
yeah.
You know, boom.
Um, so unbeknownst to Ray, he's just been like getting. He goes on a mission, kills a person that he thinks killed his wife. Then Harding puts Ray back under, wakes him up, and they just go through the whole spiel like, ah, you just woke up. Finally, you were dead. U.S. military donated your body to us, and they have this weird program where they go into his brain and reprogram that scene where his wife gets killed, where they just keep changing the face of the guy who did it.
What?
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen that in a different movie. Is that Total Recall? This sounds a lot like Total Recall. I'm not gonna lie. I think this is kind of like Total Recall, but worse.
Yeah.
Oh, like Total Recall is a good movie. This, good lord,
Yeah, this
this
is
just
not.
sounds like it without Arnold Schwarzenegger, and instead you get Vin Diesel, who, I mean, the greatest acting range I've ever seen Vin Diesel have is when he played Groot.
Yeah.
That's his best acting.
I'll get to that later. I need to finish up this mess of a story we've got.
Oh, brother.
Um
I'm lost already.
yeah,
Or I've been lost for a
it's
while
I'm losing where I'm at right now.
now.
So, yeah, basically, and okay, here's the really confusing part where it took me like 5 minutes to piece this together. So, Ray comes back from what we perceive as his first mission, whereas it's actually like his third. And as soon as he gets back with Harding's group, we just immediately cut to this part where one of the like meaner guys who's had his legs replaced. Let me look up his character's name because it actually might come up later. Um, I think it's Jimmy Dalton. Yeah. Dalton's like, ah, man, this is my favorite part where I just get to watch you lose your memories and whatever. And it's supposed to be the big twist in the movie, but at first I thought I'd missed a scene because you just jump from Ray getting on this plane to go back to Harding and then immediately jump cut to him on their like science resurrection bed and Dalton, who has been a character for a few minutes, but he's just kind of been a jerk. Um, he puts some gum under the table. You can see that he's done it a bunch of times. He goes up to Ray and he's like, ah, this is my favorite part where I get to watch you lay down. Makes it all worth it. I don't know. It's
That's
confusing.
kind of weird.
Yeah. Um, and then Ray just gets sent on another mission because, oh no, you woke up again. And this time he's going to a place where some super programmer named Wiggins is hanging out. And Wiggins is supposedly the person that Ray's nanomachines program is based on. So the nanomachines inside Ray, the programming used to make the nanomachines inside of Ray are based on the programming of this guy named Wiggins.
It's a Clone Wars deal.
Yeah. Um, so Ray goes there, kills the target, and then Wiggins uses an EMP to like knock out all of his nanomachines, wakes Ray back up, tells him what's really going on, and then Ray goes out, finds his wife, who he thinks is his wife, but apparently 5 years ago they got a divorce. And that's not explained beyond that scene. And after the plot, I'll get to what's really confusing me about the plot. Um, Ray tries to fight Harding, gets knocked out by Dalton, who uses some kind of, they call it jackknife. It just, he stabs it into Ray and it lets Harding shut down the nanomachines. Oh,
I'm still here, yes.
okay, sorry. Okay, yeah, sorry. And okay, it was Ray gets knocked out, basically. Almost reset him again. Um, and then the girl, Trachea girl, who I briefly mentioned earlier, this is really the only point in the plot where she's relevant. She kidnaps Harding to basically attack. No, wait. She doesn't take Harding. She kidnaps Wiggins. I'm sorry. This is where I'm making it confusing. The girl kidnaps Wiggins and takes him to basically shut down that miracle facility that Harding's at. And this is the climax. Ray beats up. Ray just kills some of the advanced soldiers. And then we get into this part that was never explained before, where not Harding's, Ray's nanomachines have a limit where they can only take so much damage until they just like stop functioning.
Yeah, hit start.
And it's made to build up all this tension, like, oh no, Ray's actually gonna die. And they already revived him from death once, so like there's no tension to it.
Death means nothing.
Yeah. Death means nothing at this point when you've already brought in resurrection. So there's no point in trying to make it relevant. But they try to make it relevant, and oh no, Ray gets blown up. Next scene, Ray wakes up and he's fine. And then Ray, Trachea Girl, and Wiggins ride off into the sunset. And I mean that literally. They have this Jeep with a trailer attached to the back. Ray and the girl are in the Jeep. Wiggins is in the trailer. And they just drive off into the sunset. And Wiggins is like, wait, we're just driving into the sunset? Are we sure this isn't a program? And that's where it ends.
That's rough.
Yeah.
It sounds like 10 other like sci-fi films put together.
Yeah.
In like the worst way.
That's how all these really bad action sci-fi movies come into existence.
Mm-hmm. Like, why can't they have fun with it? Like, why not just toss in like a giant shark or something like that? Like, I'd pay to see that. You know.
Did you
what I
enjoy
want to see.
Meg?
Hmm?
Did you?
Oh no, that had too high of a budget. I want my shark to look like garbage. You know, like I want like they got like a car wash like thing, and it's just a shark. And it makes this weird noise, and it's clearly not a shark, and you just go with it, like Jaws, or any Canadian sci-fi film.
Wait, Canadian? Like specifically Canadian?
Oh yeah, all those like three-headed shark or atomic baboon or something silly like that. They're all made in Canada and Nova Scotia by the same group. Like Sharknado, I believe, was made by those guys.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And they make bad movies because people buy them, because they're so bad. And it's like, yeah, I just want to see a giant shark tear apart a giant squid.
Fortunately, you get all the seriousness and no fun out of Bloodshot.
That's rough. All right, we need schlocky, fun. What did I even pay for? I didn't pay for anything. I didn't see the movie.
Yeah. So let's go over the characters because they're
sounds like a lot.
They're the worst part of this movie. Everyone's just kind of a blank slate. They don't really have anything interesting outside of them except for like generic good guy, generic bad guy, generic funny guy, generic supporting character who wants to help the main character because it fits into their motivation question mark. And there's no one interesting. It's just like watching paint dry. You know what's going to happen,
Mm-hmm.
but you still watch it, and it's like, I know the paint's going to dry, but I still watched it. Um yeah, Ray's only motivation throughout the whole movie is one, to kill the guy who killed his wife, and then two, to kill the guy who made him kill guys because he made Ray kill the guy he thought who killed his wife. So Ray's only motivation is to kill in this movie. And
Yeah.
Harding says, "Ah, yeah, but you became a soldier because you loved the killing," which is never anything you've ever heard someone say to a soldier character in a movie before. And you know what really grinded my gears about Harding? He said that, like, basic bad guy thing where, like, people want to be controlled. That's Harding's motivation. People want to be controlled, and I'm gonna be the one who does it.
You know, after I heard that like the first 15 times in films, I kind of got over it. You know, it's just kind of lame.
Yeah. Thanos does it well
Yeah, Thanos,
because
great
he had
character.
motivations beyond just wanting to control people.
Yeah, those resources.
Yeah, but every generic villain that's just like, oh, what's the motivation? No, uh, uh, I want to control people. And it's like they have some copy pasted script or something where it's just like, people want to be controlled. They don't know it, but they don't like the freedom of everyday life. They want schedules. And I don't get it.
I mean, this kind of sounds like a lot of other Vin Diesel movies. Like,
Welcome to, what is it called? Just welcome to action character
I mean,
actors.
it's not that far off. It's like Triple X. It's like Riddick. It's
Oh
like
God, don't.
Pitch Black. It's like all the ones that he's ever made, just dumbed down into the style of Total Recall, kind of. You know, really, just all over the place.
Now, if I were forced to, like, give a compliment to this movie, I would say that I don't know how I've never seen, like, a setting sun look so beautiful in a movie, but some of their sets, like, for example, when Ray is in Italy, the sunset in Italy looks just gorgeous. It's incredible, and I don't know why the sun has never reflected better in any movie I've seen. It's probably from some special effects or something, but that's probably the only good part.
Like, I wonder if you like look back into like the director's like portfolio or something like that. He's like a nature documentary guy, and they're just you know, oh, let's get him to do a action film just for once. And it's like, okay, everything that has to do with nature is beautiful, but people are dying all over the place.
Yeah. I guess also Wiggins has some good jokes. Like, he has a bit of good slapstick, and then just a few good jokes. Like, during the part where, after Ray has again died near the end, apparently Wiggins is just, like, eating while he's resurrecting Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of a callback. During the first scene, we see Ray. He's just eating some takeout, some Chinese takeout, and he gets really annoyed that he can't eat it because he has a job to do. And then his character arc, I guess, is that he gets to eat food by the end of the movie while he works. They're just, Wiggins is kind of like quirky. I'm gonna make jokes while you're bleeding out on my bed kind
Oh,
of
and he's
guy.
Australian too.
Yeah,
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah,
That's really
he's Wiggins is
funny.
pretty funny, but then he also, like, in one of his trailers, he goes through, like, actually no, he goes from a basement to a trailer to a really fancy trailer uh, movie. In his first trailer, he has like this mini little basketball and then a basketball hoop in the back. And during one scene, he's like, nobody listens to me. He throws the basketball and says Kobe, and that's humor.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That, ooh, that's not really the fault of the movie. That's just a really bad timing kind of thing. Because
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet when that was filmed, Kobe was still alive and with us,
Yeah.
and now he's not, and that hurts to hear.
Yep.
Ooh. Ugh, Jesus. Looking at this, I'm looking at uh, Vin Diesel's like all of his movies. They made 3 Riddick movies,
Yeah, they did.
and I think 3 Triple X's.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, and we're forgetting the Fast and Furious movies.
no, yeah, I didn't even mention those because, you know, part of me is kind of like those movies are, they're not great, but they are what they are, and they don't pretend to be fancy or anything most of the time. Sometimes they try to be, like Oscar bait or something like that, but obviously they're never going to be,
Yeah, no,
but, uh, you know, it's just a car movie. It's whatever.
and then they had, I guess we're going on a tangent about bad movies now, which is fine.
Mhm.
Oh, I didn't set a timer. Oh well. Um, they had Hobbs and Shaw, that spin-off movie for
Mhm.
Fast and Furious. I didn't go near that movie because I saw the trailers for it and I just knew that I would be in an awful mood near the end.
Yeah. Although I think the biggest draw for a film like that, obviously, I think The Rock, he's a charismatic guy. He can carry a
Yeah.
movie better than Vin Diesel ever could.
Oh yeah.
Not to mention Vin Diesel's kind of an a-hole, just in real life.
Oh, I
He
wasn't aware, but it
constantly gets
doesn't
into fights
surprise
with
me.
people. But it, like he just Vin Diesel. Every time I see one of his films, he's so one track.
Yeah.
He's like if you take the charisma out of Jason Statham and The Rock, and you put them into one, you put that lack of charisma into one guy, and it's like you get stuck with this dude who, I mean, his best film roles are the ones where he talks least.
Yeah. His best film roles are definitely where he voice acts, and then
Mm-hmm.
when he's voice acting, it's either the robot from the Iron Giant or Groot
Mm-hmm.
from Guardians of the Galaxy. And
Yeah.
in those, he really doesn't even talk.
Oh yeah. He's got a very robotic uh emotion. He can never.
Yeah.
He doesn't switch. You don't get much out of him. You know, he's just kill, kill, kill in all
Yeah.
of his movies.
His voice, which I guess he doesn't really have much control over, just like his default voice, um, not great for acting.
No.
There were some scenes in Bloodshot where he tried to raise his voice and sound like he was really upset, but then he just sounded like he was whining.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have this really deep scene where what should be a deep scene, where his wife, the person he thought was his wife, is telling him that she's moved on, has kids, has a husband, and he sounds like a 5-year-old who hasn't gotten his pizza rolls yet. And it's really embarrassing.
like he's got the very deep,
And grumbly voice.
mm-hmm. Like it's like Sylvester Stallone, but without the charisma again.
Yeah.
They're gonna make another Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Fast and Furious 9. They're not going to stop.
Wait, there's a 9? Then they're
Yes.
they've already announced number 10.
Wait, they have?
Yes, coming
Oh,
out in 2021.
God, they have.
This is awful.
It is.
Good Lord. They're like I can't think of another franchise that just puts a movie out every year.
They just never stop.
Yeah, they never ever even Star Wars takes a 2-year break.
Yeah.
Like actually
Well, I mean, that's because they have a movie in between. I mean, yeah, and Star Wars originally took a 30-year break. I mean, at least between the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy.
But these guys, they're going movie. It's like, listen, Fast and Furious, it's okay, it's enjoyable. You can have fun watching those films. You're not gonna get like critically anything great. But 10, man, it's like Final Fantasy. They're never gonna know when to stop. You know? It's okay that like, oh, you want to have like 69 films, but please, like, we get fatigued. Maybe Vin Diesel doesn't, but we do. I do. I don't need to see a car driving at my screen every like 5 seconds. Like, good Lord. I just wake up and I have like moments where I'm like, oh, it's Vin Diesel.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh, he's driving a car. Oh no, Hobbs Shaw and Michelle Rodriguez. No.
Vin Diesel's driving a supercar.
A supercar. That's they're gonna flip it up. They're gonna be like, oh, this is a super car for the next film.
No. I don't remember. I think it was Fate of the Furious or something, where Vin Diesel has to pretend to be evil because he has a kid or something, and he gets a supercar in the mix of it.
That's what makes everybody evil, is children.
Yep.
That's
Anakin.
what makes me evil.
You're
Waking
evil?
up every day and seeing my dog. It's a child, by the way. That counts as a child.
Yeah, it does. My birds count as children.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they definitely do.
Okay, wait. Actually, the thing I almost forgot. So, the plot. I don't understand when Ray in Bloodshot actually dies. The one confusing thing about it, so the hostage situation. He does this trick to get the hostage holder to look away, and then Vin Diesel shoots him. And then during that whole fiasco, apparently Vin Diesel gets shot in like the abdomen.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we can assume he dies there. And the scene right after that is where he goes on vacation with his wife. They get killed. But it's never actually explained when he dies. Is it when the interrogator kills him or when the hostage holder kills him?
He dies when he dies, okay?
He dies when he dies.
Okay, that's how it is. All right. When you said he blew up and he came back from that,
yeah,
you lost me. You blow up, you die.
Well, see, he already died once.
He's like Jesus times 2.
Vin Diesel's Jesus. I mean, Groot came back to life.
Oh my gosh. Well, every one of his characters, they die and then come back to life. I'm gonna have to look at. I think Triple X died too.
Wait, did he?
I think Riddick died too.
Oh no.
I think they all died. This guy's got like a resurrection thing. Tell me that like, oh, the pacifier, like he dies, freaking. Oh my gosh, this is awful, and I'm sad.
I'm sorry, Jeff.
Well, now I'm all the way back in like his earliest movies. He made a Mexican film in Español. La Celestina.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
I think it means the star
in
Spanish. I don't speak Spanish, but I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Because Celeste means star.
Oh, that's
anyway.
I mean, And as for coming back from the explosion, Wiggins has a throwaway line again for humor where he's like, "Oh man, you're probably gonna wish you didn't wake up because the way you found you, your face was all the way next to your," and then he gets cut off. But I mean, you can infer that he means like groin, crotch, genitals. That's what the line gives off.
Technical timeout.
Yeah.
It's dead. There's no coming back from that.
He did.
There's
The
no.
writer for this movie also had like this strange desire to include as many weird sexual jokes as possible.
Oh, another one of these.
Yeah. Like the interrogator before he kills Ray's wife, he uses it with like a little iron rod that gets shot out of something with really high pressure air. I think if you remember it too, they use that thing to kill cows. Like a bolt. He's like, ha, 6 inches of steel. I bet that's more than what you give her. Making fun of. Yeah.
He was using the cow gun.
Yeah. Yep.
I forgot the name of it, but the
Yeah.
thing he uses in No Country for Old Men, just like.
Yeah. That's the one.
Oh my gosh.
We're getting interrupted right now by my dad.
Oh yeah.
It's the second time he's shown up in an episode now. He needs to get out of here. Yeah, and then later on, Harding is talking to one of his subordinates who, quote unquote, wrote the script for Ray's memory of someone killing his wife. And can you go? Are you looking up what the cow gun thing is called?
No, I'm looking up the writer.
Oh, okay.
A couple of his movies.
And Harding makes this comment like, in 6 inches? Seriously? And
nice.
Yeah, the subordinate's like, what? Isn't 6 inches a lot? And he looks off to one of his coworkers and she shakes her head. And he's like, oh, what? And then that keeps going. So that was the second time that joke was mentioned. Keeps going. He talks to Harding about getting an enhancement or something. And he never gets to bring it up, but it's, you know what he wants an enhancement for.
Of course. The writer that turned this film into there was a few different writers. They're all comic book writers. So
I mean, yeah, Bloodshot was originally a comic.
Yeah. It's really all over the place. Because yeah, they're all. I don't think they had a single like movie writer for this. They had just comic book writers.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, and the only guy that was he writes books, but on his side he writes B-movie horror films. You're working with the best writers of all time right here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, jeez.
Some real Russo brothers here.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for our movie discussion. Yep. Jeff, we need to have a little heart-to-heart with our viewers before we leave them forever.
Yes.
What would you like to say to our, like, 15-ish viewers?
I don't know what our future holds. I will not be part of it. It's been a pleasure. And I bid thee adieu.
It's respectable. I'm going to miss this podcast. Last 2 years have been really fun with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been great. It's been really great. And
I'm glad we got to end it off with a really crappy action film. Because that started it with what, like Predator?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty boy.
With all the Predator dogs and the Super Predator.
And more sexual jokes.
Yeah, you're right.
We start with the same group. Honestly, this movie, some of the writing sounds very similar to the Predator movie.
We went full
Like,
circle, Jeff.
yeah, we did. It's really bad. Like,
Full like scrawly, ovally circle, but full circle.
I mean, I wish we could have finished with something like Spider-Man or something like that. Like this.
Who knows? No one. The unfortunate thing about this is no one on the messenger staff is asked to pick it up next year.
Mhm.
So, I mean, for like the time being, this is it. This is all
Mhm.
the MMP content you'll get.
Don't worry, we'll come back.
Yeah,
30 years.
30 years.
30 years, all right? And, we'll do like a whole prequel thing, all right? Somebody's going to clone me.
In that case, we'll have to do 20 years and pretend like instead of 18 years old, we're 12 years old or something.
Yeah. Who's going to play Darth Vader?
I don't know. You have the voice for it.
That's true. That makes you Obi-Wan.
Does it?
I think it does.
I
I'm going
guess
to pretend like it does.
I'll have to practice my accent.
All right. Or Darth Sidious. I'm really getting lost in my own.
Yeah. I mean, there are only two of us.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess that is it.
All right.
Goodbye.
Signing off.